Good morning, and thank you for joining us for SBB Live. I am here today with Dr. Ann Rasmussen. And Ann, how are you doing today?
Hi, Amanda. I'm doing great. Can you hear me?
I can hear you quite well.
Good. That joke never gets old.
Yeah. How are you holding up during this COVID crisis, my friend?
I have to say that, thank goodness, we're doing pretty good. And by we, I mean our patients, also our staff, thank goodness, everyone's healthy. And my family, everyone at home is nice and healthy. Thanks for asking. How are you doing? How are you holding up?
Oh, the dogs are really enjoying me being home every second of every day. So it'll be an adjustment for them when I go back to my networking extravaganzas.
I completely understand. The kids are getting a little too used to me being home. Is that little too loud? Let me move. There's a helicopter flying by.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I'm wearing many hats these days. So say hi, Riley. Hi. My number one patient, Riley. Are you wearing your hearing aid, Riley? Yeah. You are? Oh, good.
That's a good girl.
Okay. All right. And so on top of homeschooling, luckily, when patients call, they get me. So I am answering all of the calls at this point.
Well, that was one of my questions for you is, are you still open? Obviously you are. So tell me some of the precautions that you're taking during this uncertain time to keep your patients and your family and everyone healthy and happy and safe.
Absolutely. So we are still open. That being said, we know that there are a lot of patients with essential appointments. They have to go to the doctor's offices Monday through Friday. What we're doing is we are open on the weekends. So we will see patients on the weekends. This decreases the amount of patients in the building at any one time. Patients can call me, I would say for the most part. You know, if patients are having an issue, they can call me and they get me directly. So I'm triaging the patients. If patients have an emergency, so what's considered an emergency in the world of audiology? So patients who are having trouble hearing their doctors, problems with social isolation, depression, cognitive delays, dementia, we will see those patients on an emergency basis. Patients who need emergency tinnitus fittings, so patients who have suicidal ideations because of the increased stress and tinnitus, we are seeing those patients as well. And lastly, patients who have severe imbalance issues, patients who are falling over, vertigo, meaning that their daily function is impeded. All you have to do is call me and we will see those patients on an as-needed basis. Now, if we find that a non-essential appointment is needed, then we are asking patients to wait to be seen after May 1st. We're calling all of our patients after May 1st. We hope to be reopened with full office hours at that time. That being said, you know, we really want to move forward in the most safe manner and healthy manner. So we might be calling patients with updates, letting them know when we might reopen for full office hours.
No, that's great. And I know you've been talking a lot about what you're doing in the community. Are telehealth services available, and what supplies do you have? Are repairs available? Those types of things.
Yes and yes. So many of our patients have Bluetooth technology in their aids. This allows for remote hearing aid and tinnitus aid programming. So if a patient has an Apple phone or an Android phone, or a family member has an Apple or Android phone, we can actually help them with their aids through these phones. If a patient's not sure if he or she has Bluetooth technology, well then just give me a call. I'm available. And I'll help figure out the best possible way to proceed. Repairs, yes. So I would say, gosh, a good amount, over half of our calls right now are in regards to repairs. Some repairs can be made during our emergency appointments on the weekends. However, some can wait until May. Also, I have to say that many are concerned that their warranties are expiring on their devices. If patients are concerned about their warranties, give us a call. I'll take a look at the warranties. There are extended warranties available for a nominal fee. The fee depends on the age of the technology and what kind of technology it is. But many of these warranties can be extended. So that way, when patients can get back into the office after COVID, they don't have to worry about paying thousands of dollars for those repairs.
Yeah, and I know that a lot of people would be worried about that, so it's important to address it. Also, we have a lot of people here from out of state, and concerned that they're not going to be able to have their aids repaired. So talk to me about...
Right. I would say a good amount of calls have been from people who are not currently our patients. Although we have a good amount of patients, a lot of people are just stuck down here in Florida. They can't travel. They're scared of traveling back up north or wherever home is. It's worth noting that we do work with all manufacturers, and we work with all aids, no matter where they were purchased or obtained. So if a patient needs help, they can absolutely come to us, and we're more than happy to help. So we're trying to do our part to give back in our own way during this COVID crisis. A lot of our patients, we're blessed with wonderful patients, and I know you know that, Amanda. A lot of our patients realize that we are a small medical practice and a small business. These patients are helping us out by purchasing aids and purchasing tinnitus aids, and we're trying to pay that kindness forward to other people who might not even be our patients. They didn't even obtain aids from us, but if we can fix their aids for them, even at no cost, we'll just go ahead and fix it for them and send them on their merry way.
What a beautiful thing. Absolutely.
Pay it forward. I know you believe in paying it forward too.
100%. Now, you have talked about hearing aids a whole lot, but I think it's important to talk about your degree. You are a doctor of audiology. So tell us the difference between a hearing aid specialist and a doctor of audiology.
Sure. So a doctor of audiology goes to school for 10 years. The primary focus of a doctor of audiology is looking at the etiology, the cause of diseases. So even though we treat hearing loss, I treat imbalance, and I treat tinnitus, really I look at the root cause first. So when you work with a doctor of audiology, we always look at medical etiology first. After that, we look at treatment. That is the best possible way to make sure that patients receive the best care.
Now, I know that you have talked about your small family-owned practice, and I always really want to make sure we get the mission across as to what brought you to this. Talk to us about Riley and what motivated you.
Right. So Riley's actually still here, homeschooling. Say hi. So Riley, my daughter, she's 10 years old now, but when she was 2, she was diagnosed with hearing loss. So I am passionate about what I do every day. Not only am I a doctor, but I'm a mom too. Every single day, I'm learning everything I possibly can about hearing loss, about audiology, about the causes of the diseases and how to treat the diseases. And I do treat. I make sure that every single person in our practice is treated just like family. I want our patients to have the same resources. I want our patients to have the same treatment. And going back, even before my daughter, I have a much younger sister. She's 16 years younger than I am. I'm not sure if you knew this, Amanda. And so she was born when I was 16. And when I was around 18, 19, she was diagnosed with hearing loss. And so I've been working with patients with hearing loss. I started as an assistant teacher at San Francisco Speech and Hearing Center when I was 19 years old. I'm 40 now. Don't do the math. And I know I don't look a day over 29. I know you were about to say that.
How did you know?
Yeah. And so I've been working with patients with hearing loss for 21 years now. And I love what I do. I'm one of the very few people who I get to wake up every single day and I get to do what I love. And I think that shows through not just from me, but through every single person in our practice. We're a small family, really. So we're a small group doing big things.
Now, I know that you created this mobile service because you saw such a need for it in our Southwest Florida area. Talk to me about what led you to that conclusion, and tell us about your handsome hubby and how the two of you just took on the world and showed us what a beautiful thing it can be to go into these communities and help our seniors.
Sure. So I'll tell you. So I used to work for other practices here in the Naples area, and I did that for about 7 years. And then I started to get calls from my patients started to age. And I started to get calls on Friday afternoons. Patients couldn't hear. They were suffering, but they did not have transportation. And I thought, after a couple of years of these calls, I thought, there is absolutely no reason that any of these people should not receive services. There is no reason that they should not have a better quality of life. So after that, we opened the only fully mobile audiology practice in Southwest Florida. So all services can be provided in-home, from initial testing all the way through treatment. Every single service that a patient would receive in office, a patient can receive at home. I had no idea. I thought, well, when I opened that mobile service, I thought, what's the worst that could happen? No one wants it, and we go back to in-office only. It was so in demand that within 2 months, we just exploded. People were calling and calling. I had no idea how much of a demand there was, but thank goodness, I'm so glad that we can provide this service to patients now, and that's no additional cost. We bill insurance. Insurance pays for the doctor's office fees, as long as we don't have to charge, and we haven't had to in 6 years. Haven't had to charge anything extra for those mobile services. So I provide it at no additional cost because it's the right thing to do.
That's an amazing. I just love hearing your story and how you guys came together and built this business and your passion for hearing. So thank you so much. I appreciate you sharing your story, and I'll make sure to download all of your contact information for those folks that want to get a hold of you after today's interview. So
thanks, Amanda.
Thank you so much for joining us today on SBB Live.
It was my pleasure.